Hi you guys, I have a pretty fabulous DIY tutorial for you all today. As I told you in one of my recent videos, I'm still loving my Filofax, but I really wanted to add more creativity to my life. Things get pretty hectic and stressful for me at times, and I really need a creative outlet. And ever since switching to my week on one-page calendar inserts in my Filofax, I realized that I just didn't have as much room to decorate and put stickers, and also to take note of the things that happened throughout the day that I really wanted to remember, snippets of the day and fun memories and things like that. So the first thing that got me started on this journey was I watched a video by Nancy, who is Tweety Pie Collage on Instagram, and she mentioned that she keeps a large project life card in her Filofax. She writes the date on there, and she just writes one sentence about the day, something she wants to remember. And I loved that idea. So I started using that, and I realized that I was putting in a lot more than just one sentence every day. I wanted to remember even more things. So I started doing more research. I had ordered a Midori Traveler's Notebook, well, a faux one that you would have seen in my recent haul. But I realized I kind of wanted to use that for art journaling. So then I got into the Hobonichis. And if you're not familiar with Hobonichi, it is a planner system from Japan. It's a day per page. So the idea behind the Hobonichi planner is that you write in snippets of your day and you illustrate it, or you put in washi tape or pictures or drawings or whatever, things that will help you be a little bit more creative, as well as remember the parts of your day that you want to remember. The planner looks similar to this. This is my DIY one that I'm going to show you guys in this upcoming tutorial. And anyway, I started looking into them. They come with really fun covers, and I fell in love and really wanted one. But it ships from Japan, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to use it or not. So I decided to make my own, just so I could give it a try and see if it is something that I would keep up with. So I found a couple different videos on YouTube. Miss Vicky B has one that she talks about, as well as Shimmering to Light, and I'll link all this stuff down below for you. So I checked out their videos. They both were using this black notebook from Miquel Rius via Barnes & Noble. So I got that and made my own. So I thought I'd show you guys the process of what I did, what I used, all of that to make it. I'll also link the Hobonichi website down below if you do want to order one. I know they have a new spring calendar that started in April, so that way you're not wasting like too many of the months. That was another reason why I didn't order it, was because it was a January start, and now we're already almost to July. So anyway, I hope this is helpful for you guys. I will include some tips and tricks and things that I learned along the way, so that hopefully that will be helpful for you as well. You'll need, obviously, the journal, stamps, inks, a Sharpie pen, highlighters, and also a template which tells you where to draw your lines. I didn't want to use the first couple pages of the journal, so I skipped over those. I also left one page for a June cover, as well as a 2-page spread to use for my June monthly calendar if I decided to do that. I forgot to mention that you'll also need either a ruler or cardstock to use as a ruler. tip, you can see here I used different colored highlighters for each month to draw in a little square on the side, and I would write in the number of the month. For example, here I'm doing August, so on every page I would write an 8, and I use different color highlighters for each month. So instead of counting out the squares, I colored in the first page, and then you can see here I'm counting the pages, 30 or 31, and then I colored in the last page of the month. And then I took those 2 pages along with all the middle ones, put them together, and colored in the edge of the pages so that I had a guide and I could easily go in and fill it in. Tutorial. I hope it gave you some ideas for ways that you could create your own. A couple of more things that I want to tell you guys about this. First of all, you probably will have noticed that the chalk inks do bleed through these pages. So if you're using this notebook, keep that in mind. I did find though that the Sharpie pen did not bleed through. I do use that to actually write in the snippets of my day, and that I wasn't having any problems with at all. And I think the biggest tip I can tell you if you are going to make one of these is to make it like an assembly line. It's not hard to make it, it's just really tedious. So what I found was that I would go through and draw all my lines, page after page after page, and then I would go through and stamp the month over and over and over again. Just like an assembly line, that made it go a lot faster and was a little bit easier. And the other thing you may have noticed is that I only done 3 months. I only did June, July, and August, just because I want to make sure that I will stick with it, and if I find that I am using it every day, then I will probably either order the real Hobonichi or go ahead and make a couple of more months for myself. But it was tedious, so I didn't want to unnecessarily do all of that work if I wasn't going to use it. And finally, I found that even though I want to add more creativity to my life, I don't always have the time to do that. And also, because I started this in mid-June, I had already missed the beginning of the month. So what I did was go through and write in pencil the things I wanted to remember from that day. And even going forward for the days that I don't necessarily have time to actually sit down and draw and write and decorate in this, I have been writing in pencil the things I want to remember so that one day when I do have the time or I want to spend a little bit longer of a session doing something creative, I can go back through and maybe do a couple of pages at a time. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let me know any questions that you have or more helpful hints if you have any. And most importantly, if you make your own Hobonichi, I would love to see it. Please make sure to tag me on Instagram or Twitter. All my information is below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.